All right, so we are going to create a track map, and so you can see the finished version of that is here. So you see how you have an alpha channel, and you can see the video underneath through the Ruby Diner text. So this is what we're going to do. So I'm going to open up my other composition of my track map, and actually, when you're doing um, that type of masking, you do want your Ruby Dyna, you want the text to be as big as possible so that you can see as much of the video underneath or inside of it. So I'm going to take this opportunity to get my text again and get my character. And I'm going to just increase my Ruby Diner. I really want it to be nice and fat for this. And then I am going to just have it, but right up against it. Again, I'm doing this so that you can see more of the video underneath it. So the bigger and the fatter you make these letters, the better. And then pushing them together helps to make them, again, allow you to see the video that will be coming through it a little bit more. And I will click on it again and hit my align, and it's just centering it to the composition as we've done before. Okay, so when you do this, you're going to use the track mat, which is this right here. Now, you can see that I can't use the track mat. The reason why, well, actually, let me move this up for you. Um, my proxy is enabled. That's good to know. And um, so here is, okay, so here I wanted to move the video up here for a second. So you wouldn't put the video up here for a couple of reasons. The first one is when it's up here, you won't be able to use the track mat. You really need to put it underneath what you're trying to track. So now I have that option. But you also, let me go back to composition. But you also wouldn't do that so far as layer hierarchy. So if you're trying to do an alpha or a mask um, so you want to mask out something and see through it, then how you want to see through it, or the thing you want to see through it, should be their top layer, right? So this is the video below where you see the MP4, and then so we're going to mask out the Ruby Diner text so that we can see so we can see the video, and then the rest of the video will be gone. So I'm going to go ahead and um, click under track mat. I'm just going to click alpha mat Ruby Diner, right? And it's just really that simple. However, I'm going to do a couple of refining. So because we didn't set up clip the video ahead of time, this is sort of a boring video. There's very little happening. So I'm going to put my playhead almost in the center of this, and I'm going to move this video over a little bit so that, because there's a tree moving, and so I'm just moving the track over so that I can get to an interesting part. And so you see me just sort of moving it and moving it. And so I'm getting to the end of the clip here, so I want to be careful of that. So I'll just bud the ending to that 5 seconds. But then you see where I can see more of the tree. Again, keep in mind my playhead is in the center, right? So I understand when I come back to 0, I can see that move to the center, right? And continue to the end. So I just moved the actual video clip over, right? Because the beginning of it was really boring and not interesting. So I definitely would like you to do that part. Okay. All right. And so I'm going to show you something else that he didn't include in this. Well, actually, I think he might include some of it in the next one, but I'm going to just show you something else. So if you do this, that's it. That's good enough for this section. This is just sort of me being a little extra. So I can also take this mat video and put it right underneath because I wanted to sort of show you how some of this can get even more interesting, right? Because you sort of have that going, but you can also, let's see, I'll reduce the opacity for the second one that's not tracked, right? Um, so that you can see the one above it a little bit more, but you can still have something visually interesting going on in the second one. And I might, for the second one, match up the movement. So that's why I'm moving the track. Let me lock this one so I'm not moving them both. There we go. I'm going to lock this one. I don't want them to be. There we go. And so now you can see it. It's in the letters, it's in the text, but it's also in the background. And sometimes that can be visually really interesting. I'm going to lower the opacity a little bit more because you have the same video going and it's sort of behaving in a different way. So, of course, that part, I'm going to just hide it, is not part of the tutorial. This is, right? So you only need those 3 layers, the background white layer, your matte layer, and your ruby. I also want to show you, so I'm going to delete this so that you don't get confused. Um, I also want to show you that when we did the alpha track here, um, After Effects automatically hid the Ruby Diner text because that's what it needed to do in order to get that effect. Okay? All right, onward and upward.